Isaiah 7:10-14 says, "Then the Lord spoke again to Ahaz, saying, Ask a sign for yourself from the Lord your God. Make it as deep as Sheol or as high as heaven." But Ahaz said, "I will not ask, I will not test the Lord." Then he said, "Listen now, O house of David, is it too slight a thing for you to try the patience of men? You shall try the patience of my God as well. Therefore the Lord himself will give you a sign. Behold, a virgin will be with child and bear a son, and she will call his name Emmanuel." Well, if you're joining us in reading through this 25-day reading plan, today's reading is Isaiah 7:10-16, and I encourage you to read that passage. Well, today we're going to have some fun. Okay, you may not consider it fun, but you're probably going to feel that at least today's devotion has some educational value. The prophecy in today's reading is crucial to our understanding of who Christ is. In the New Testament, Matthew quotes this passage in Matthew 1:23. He uses the Greek word parthenos to describe a virgin, but the word in Hebrew is alma, which describes a woman of marriageable age. Now, how can Matthew quote something in the New Testament that doesn't fit with the words in the Old Testament? Well, this is particularly in the case where Christ's nature is in focus. How can he do that? And the answer is, interestingly enough, it is found in history and in the nature of prophecy. Sometimes prophecy has two distinct fulfillments, the near fulfillment and the far fulfillment. And this is the case with the prophecy in Isaiah. Ahaz was king of Judah at about 735 as a co-regency with his father, and 732 to 716 BC as a sole king. And during that time, the northern kingdom of Israel was attacked and taken into captivity, leaving Judah alone. Judah was under attack by two kings, and Isaiah told Ahaz not to worry about these two kings because a young woman would bear a child before he was old enough to choose good over evil. And that was approximately 3 to 5 years old. And these kings would be gone by that time. And history shows us that these kings were defeated soon after this prophecy. So, where did Matthew get the idea that it was not a young woman who was going to give birth, but rather a virgin? And the answer is buried in history. Now, about 220 BC, in Alexandria, Egypt, there was a crisis. Greek had become the standard language for the world, and many Jews did not understand Hebrew. They understood Greek. So the decision was made to translate the Old Testament Hebrew into Greek. And when the priests and scribes came to this passage, they translated the word young woman into the word virgin. They gave us a picture of what was the standard interpretation of this verse 200 years prior to Christ's birth. This translation, known as the Septuagint, is what is used in the New Testament for the majority of the quotes from the Old Testament. Now, as a result, we see this prophecy has two distinct fulfillments. One prior to 732 and one 700 years later with the birth of Christ. God is faithful. He provided Ahaz with the means to understand his power and desire for a relationship with man or him. And he provided the same prophecy in the understanding of who Christ is, fully man and fully God. So, how will you today respond to God's prophecy? With doubt, as Ahaz did, or with repentance, knowing who Christ is?